So I want to talk about the state of property for young people who are trying to buy a home in anywhere in Australia. I'm 33 years old now. I was pretty fortunate enough to buy a home at 29. I bought a home at probably the latest part of COVID where you could still buy a home and not get absolutely ripped off. It worked for me quite well, but those opportunities are not going to be around any longer. The market is super duper efficient. There's so much technology available and people interested. There's gaps in the market the way they were don't exist. If you're young and you're trying to buy a property, the reality of it is this is the hardest time in human history to buy a property in Australia. It's harder than your parents and it's harder than your grandparents. For example, property in Adelaide, where I'm walking right now, is now almost 9 times the average income. Your parents, it was probably around 5. Your grandparents, it was probably around 3.5 to 4 times. Meaning their take-home earnings every week, they could do more of it when it comes to buying property. There's other things though that have changed as well, like technology, quality of life. We have it better in a lot of ways than they did, but it was much easier for them to buy property than us. So how can you buy a property in this market? The first thing to accept, it's super duper duper hard. It is ridiculously hard. It's harder than it ever was, but it's not impossible. And just like anything that's difficult, it's going to come with sacrifice. Only X amount of people can buy property, good property. So to get to the top of that pool, you need to be doing more than the rest of the people. The first thing I would do, and this is something that's not in everyone's control, I would live at home until you buy something. Live with your parents, ideally rent-free, ideally they're subsidizing utilities, costs, food, everything like that. Sponge off your parents for as long as possible. I did it till I was 30. I don't think I would have ever had a house in a decent area unless I did that. If you have the option to live with your parents and they're generous enough to do it for you, do it for as long as you can. Now, not everyone's going to have that option, and that's fine. What I would suggest is to live with people, find roommates. The cost of renting is absolutely ridiculous right now. And if you're going to sacrificing on living from age 18 to age 30 is the single most important thing you can do to get ahead in life and to buy property. You need to look at your life and think, I'm young now, healthy, able. I'm going to spend the next 10 years of my life having a bit of sacrifice. And it's all about perception. I loved living at home till I was 30. It's something that I got, given crap about, but for me, it was fine. I had space, a great relationship with my mum. And I assume you could look at it like that when moving in with people, move in with friends, share rooms, enjoy it while you last. You're going to have space later in your life. You're going to have a wife, kids, husband, whatever. You're going to have a different situation. So look at it as a short-term solution. It's the single most important thing you can do to get ahead in life. Now, secondly, and trust me, a lot of this is going to run that same it's going to run on the same strategy of sacrifice, but it's do without. There's certain things that you're going to have to sacrifice young if you want to be in a good position when you're older. Food, drinking, discretionary funds. Like how much spending do you need? What do you really need to enjoy your life? Do you need to eat out every day? I eat chickpeas and tuna every day for lunch, a meal that's about $3. I don't eat it because it's cheap, I eat it because it's nutritious. You need to have that mindset. Food, for me, is about nutrition, but for you, it needs to be about cost. You don't need to be eating out, spending $15 to $20. Don't buy soft drinks, they're not good for you. All the crap that you can spend money on, guess what? Most of it's actually not good for you. Water, vegetables, healthy food, with a bit of time and organization. Pre-pack your meals, cook chicken Sunday night, vegetables, have meals 3 days in advance, spend $3 a meal instead of $20 a meal. It goes without saying, smoking and drinking every night, those things are off the cards. Now, this isn't to say you can't have fun. Go out, have big nights, have a binge session when you can, but do it smart. On a Saturday night, spend $100 to $150 once a month. You've got to do these things when you're young. And it's not to say you can't travel, but it's just about being smart. It's not spending 3 months in Europe, but it can be spending a week or two in Bali. You're going to have the rest of your life to do amazing traveling. You don't need to do it as much now if your priority is getting a home. If your priority is traveling, do it now. It's just about what you want. Next thing you're going to do, every single dollar you spend, you need to be smart about, in a sense where you look for deals. When I buy toilet paper, I don't just go and buy it. I look at cost per roll and I buy toilet paper 12 months in advance. Why do I do that? Well, by doing that, I end up saving $200-300 on toilet paper per year, and I save time. Sounds ridiculous, sounds frugal, whatever, but that is the mindset you're going to have. Your journey of buying a house is 5 to 10 years. It's not 6 months. If you can plan your life over 5 to 10 years, you can spend money in a way that benefits you. You can buy 2-3 years worth of toilet paper up front because you know it saves you over that period. That is how you've got to look at it. The next thing you've got to do is work smart. And of course, working is going to be on here. But the reality of it is you can earn $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 a year, and it still works out quite well from a tax point of view. Try and max that out as early as possible. Now, something you might be studying or doing TAFE or anything like that, that's fine. You can still do those things, but try and work when you can. Yes, playing defense mode and not spinning is a major part, but you can't win games 0-0. You have to score goals, and by scoring goals, you have to make money. Find a job where you can earn money without killing yourself, or it could be your main thing. You might be 18 years old and you're getting a job straight away, earning decent money. That's fine. Uni is not as important as everyone says. You do need to excel at what you do. That's the difference. It doesn't matter if you start work at 18, 19, or you start work at 26, 27 with a uni bill. Whatever you're doing, you just need to float to the top of your pack. I hire a lot of people, no uni, 19, 20 years old. They work with me with barely any experience, but they know they're going to give it their all. And after a few years, they can earn more than people in uni, but do this 4 or 5 years earlier. You have to earn money in a sustainable way with no headaches. Extra points, if you want a side hustle, you find a way to make $10,000, $15,000 extra per year. Fantastic. When I was growing up, I had a photo booth business. I found out I could buy a photo booth and hire it out and make an extra $500 a week in exchange for about 7-8 hours of my time. Not everyone's gonna need to do that or have to do that, but it's something that's a little extra. It's that cherry on top if you can. There's millions of ways to make money if you're looking and dynamic enough. The next thing, and it's going to sound tough, this one, reduce errors and reduce headaches. Stupid things like fines, late fees, just parking tickets, speeding, those types of things, unnecessary expenses. Not fixing problems before they get too bad, like not having a normal car and spending too much on service upkeep or anything like that. That's going to put you behind massive. Headaches, things like bad friendships, girlfriends or boyfriends that make your life difficult. You need a clean mind to have a sustainable plan going forward for you to buy a home. It might sound harsh, but if there's people that don't align with your goals, you need to limit your exposure to them, or you need to find a way where they can be in your life on your terms. You might have friends that you go out for coffee with or for hiking with, but you wouldn't take them other places. You know, you might have party friends, you might have uni friends, but just work out how best to position these people that align with your goals, and don't take on anyone else's problems. Be polite, but don't get involved, because that will give you headaches. Build friendships. Find the people who are on a similar pathway, doing similar things. They're the people you want to spend time with, because guess what? You're going to learn from them, they're going to learn from you. And together you'll achieve things quicker. You will make it happen by seeing the people around you doing the things you want to do. Another thing, FOMO is going to be the biggest killer. You can tackle FOMO. Saying no and missing out is not the worst thing in the world. In fact, you don't always have to miss out. Your friends are going out drinking, having 12 drinks and spending $200. You can be there happy having 1 or 2 drinks or sipping on water and you can have a better time, in fact, because you won't feel like shit. Your friends are going on a holiday. Maybe you miss out on that sometimes. Other times you go. Pick and choose. Your friends they're out spending money on designer clothes, or they're upgrading their iPhones every 2 years. Life is not going to be any better with better things in your life. You need the basics that work. Whether you have a $20,000 Toyota Prius or an $80,000 BMW, honestly, life doesn't get that much better. Have what you need to function. Try not to miss out on things when you have alternatives. But yes, missing out on some things might be the way, but 90% of the times you can find another alternative. You can go to that. You can go to a dinner where your friends are spending $200. You can go there and spend $50. You don't have to fall and succumb yourself to peer pressure, because peer pressure will not get you to where you want to get to. A great way to buy a home, and the next thing, is take advantage of government grants, first home buyer grants, stamp duty concessions, all of these things, LMI waivers. Do your research, speak to a mortgage broker, or look online, or speak to people that have previously done it. Find your quickest way to get a home. It might be buying a brand new house that's recently been built, so you save on stamp duty, you get a $15,000 first homeowners grant. Then you'll have your pathway ready. You need to buy this type of house because you'll get this grant, and to do that you need this type of income and you need this type of deposit. Seeing the finish line will allow you to get to the finish line. If you have no idea what the finish line looks like, you will never get there, because you will run and you'll think you're closer to it, but without seeing it, you have no idea of the reality of it. And you'll often find you might be able to get into a home with a deposit of $60,000, $70,000, $80,000 saved through taking advantage of everything that's available to you. You might be able to tailor your work or know exactly how much you should be earning. There's nothing better than going to a job where you're earning $60,000, $70,000 and telling someone, in 3 years, I would like to be earning $90,000. This will allow me to buy a home. Can I reverse engineer this with you? What can I do to get to this income? And the last thing, and you might be thinking, well, what do I do with my savings along the journey? What you do with your savings, one of three things. You leave it in your savings account in maybe a term deposit where you can earn some slightly higher interest in exchange for locking your money away for a longer period. Gives you a slightly better return risk-free, plus also holds that money there. 2, invest in blue chip stocks or the stock market as a whole if you've got a couple of years to play with. Again, keeps your money in the same place and you can liquidate it when you want for a better profit. But have a time frame. Don't do this 6 months before you buy a home. You need to have years. You need to plan when you put it in and plan when you take it out. The third thing, if you can spend money to make more money, that's fine. If you can go around and buy products for $100 each and some for $200 each, that's fine. If you can buy a photo booth machine or a laser printer or something, if you can buy some form of technology or some sort of service where you can make more money, this is fine as well. But make sure you don't throw money down the drain on buying stupid things that don't have resale value, or you're not gonna get more than you paid from them. So that's a quick video of what I would do to get into a home if I was a young person. And yeah, not easy, is it? It's harder, a lot harder. But the one thing I will say, once you do get into a home, life goes from hard to medium. Not easy, it gets a lot better. You have an asset that grows in value. Having a home is the single best thing you can do in Australia. Oh, and one last thing, get off TikTok. Use social media to learn or to make money, not to zombie scroll. Don't be a consumer of social media, use it to your advantage.